Hi, my name is Kevin and welcome to my workshop. On Sunday I turned a pin, and it was a click style pin, and during my turning process I went through the steps of cutting the blanks out on the bandsaw, drilling it on the drill press, and then bringing it over to the lathe to turn it. So what I'm going to do now, I've got that rough down with the 3/4 inch skew, or roughing gouge, and now I'm going to grab my oval skew and take it down to the bushings. And hopefully my skew is sharp enough. I'm bringing my tool rest closer to the top of the wood piece. What I'm doing now is just making a very light cut and bringing my pin blank right down to the bushing. Alright, I took my skew over to the workbench and I sharpened it with 400 grit sandpaper. Alright, we're going to try that and see if I can be out of the way of the camera now. Alright, right down to the bushing, and then kind of feather it together from end to end. Personally, with my pins when I make them with a little bit of a shape to them. Alright, now to smooth it out. Okay, when you're turning these burls that have been stabilized, alright, a couple places chipped out of the wood, so I had to go in and put some super glue in it and then use a hardener, a spray, to set the super glue. And now what I'm going to do is turn it again and try and fill in those voids. Let's see, there we are. We're back in the picture. Something like that. Oop. Real quick, skew's going across it. It's leaving a rough place right there. So this is one of those few times when I'm going to have to sand. I don't like to, but I ain't got a choice. Good. I'm going to take and do my super glue finish. Okay, what I'm going to do is turn down my lathe speed. Right now it's running at about 300, and I'm going to take a super thin Bob Smith Industries CA glue, put it on my paper towel, and just quick like that. Next piece, go just a couple of quick wipes, done with that piece of paper towel. Here, more CA, back and forth, CA, back and forth, done. Now, what I'm going to do is stop the lathe and look at this and see if I've got any buildup that cause a spiral down the piece. By using the super thin CA glue like this, it sets into the wood really nice, and it leaves a nice finish behind. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some stick fast medium CA, put a good drop on my end of my paper towel, go across, back across, across, back across, back across. Fold the paper towel in half, put a good dollop super glue on there, go across, and that's it. Take a look at it. I don't have any spirals, but I do have a little bit of a pattern from the CA where I wiped across the blank. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my micro mesh and I'm going to give it a quick sand. Okay, here I have. What we're going to do is find a piece of paper towel first. Faster. Take your micro mesh, sand, sand, wipe. Next piece of micro mesh, sand, sand, drop it, wipe. Last but not least, 12,000 grit. And wipe. Now, this is personal preference, but I use the gloss stick fast product. It shines it up nice and pretty. Put a little drop, and I mean just a dab, on your dry section of your paper towel, and just a drop. Wipe it across the pen blank, turn the speed up, and because super glue will melt when it gets hot, don't put a lot of friction on here. Just a light touch, enough to shine with the polish. Back and forth, and there we go. And now, if you can see it, that is a nice looking pen, just gorgeous. So now I'm going to go over and show you how I put it together. Okay, time's up. I gotta go. No, I had to make a phone call, so that's all that was about. Alright, let's see. Back that off a little bit. That should be good. Grab a clean piece of paper towel. Set your pen blank on that. I've got a little bit of CA glue that overshot the edge of my pen. And all I do is take a sharp X-Acto blade and pull towards the brass tube. Let's see if we can get that in there. Pull towards the brass tube to cut off any excess glue. Because if you go the other way, then it'll peel and the super glue will come off. The super glue actually will firm up or harden once it sets for, a couple of hours over, in the next couple of hours. That's what I meant to say. And here, once again, I've got my directions. I pretty much know how to do these pens, but I do it so many, it's better to be safe than sorry, and make sure you grab your instructions. Just to make sure you're putting the right pieces of the pen in the right place. It really sucks if you put one together wrong. For the most part, you're done. And that really stinks. Alright, I'm going to take my pen kit dump it out onto my clean paper towel. And first off, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the nib, which is the point, my directions, say put this in the end of the pin, and this is my press. I use little cheater blocks when I'm assembling, so I don't have to take this and loosen it up every time. You can't see that, sorry. Gotta back this off again, just there. Alright, that's a little better. But this knob, you can loosen it and move the plastic piece in and out on the bar. I like to have cutoffs, different thicknesses, so when I press my pieces for assembly, I don't have to loosen this every time. And this goes in the other end, and then I want to figure out what piece of wood I want to show and not be covered up. I want this box elder, the red from the blank, to show up in my finished product. So what I want to do is take my clip and put it on the opposite side so that that shows up real well. Here I have a hole drilled in this piece of wood, and this plunger end will go up in that. Gets pressed into place. There you go. And that's tight. That's in there tight. Next, I take my refill. If I can find you. There you go. There we go. My refill goes into the pin like such. That goes in, and then you screw it together like that. And the red is with the red. And there you have